History never disappears. It lingers in memory, in culture, in our bones, and even in computer games. In my previous video on Red Orchestra 2, I explored why and how well the game captures war. How history, when simulated, can still feel emotionally present and vivid. But immersion is only one half of historical understanding. A game can make you feel history, but understanding why history repeats itself requires something else entirely. Interpretation. And that's where Stephen Kotkin comes in. I'm sure I'm not alone in this, but I've spent hours listening to Kotkin's lectures, and what stands out to me is not just what he says, but how he says it. Kotkin understands something many academics don't. Information alone is not enough. Human beings remember structure, tension, narrative, and Kotkin speaks like someone reconstructing a civilization in real time. His cadence is just right. He slows down when ideas need space. He pauses long enough for you to connect the dots. And then he accelerates, linking ideology, economics, paranoia, logistics, and human behavior into a single moving system. It doesn't feel like memorizing history. It feels like watching history assemble itself. Like the past is not static, but still unfolding through explanation. But the real reason I think Kotkin stands out goes deeper than just his rhetoric. He embraces contradiction. Most historical narratives try to simplify reality. Heroes versus villains, good systems and bad systems, victims and monsters. Kotkin refuses that comfort. Take Stalin, for example, a figure responsible for immense destruction. It would be easy to flatten him into a symbol of pure evil, but Kotkin does something more difficult. Compared to many historians who treat Stalin almost like a mythological figure, Kotkin approaches him more like someone trapped inside a Kafkaesque system. Not to excuse him, but to understand him. Because reducing Stalin to a monster explains nothing. A monster from another world teaches us nothing about our own. But a human being shaped by ideology, fear, ambition, bureaucracy, and historical circumstance forces us to confront something uncomfortable. These outcomes are not alien to civilization. They are produced by it. And that is the paradox at the center of Kotkin's work. He studies figures like Stalin with full moral clarity, but without flattening complexity into slogans. And this is why I don't really see Kotkin as just a historian. I see him more like a diagnostician, someone examining recurring illnesses within political systems. And I'm not trying to say Kotkin wants to cure history, but he's trying to understand how certain conditions produce certain outcomes. Dictatorship is not treated as an anomaly. It is treated as something that emerges from specific pressures, be it social, psychological, or institutional. And once you begin seeing history this way, it stops feeling like a list of events. It starts feeling like a system of forces interacting over time. There is also another reason people like me listen to Kotkin for hours. He does not sound possessed by ideology. Even when discussing atrocity, he sounds curious, and that curiosity matters, because in a world where everything is immediately reduced into tribalism and slogans, curiosity signals honesty. And Kotkin does not rush toward moral shortcuts. He sits inside complexity long enough for it to become visible, and that creates a kind of trust. Not necessarily trust in conclusions, but trust in the process of exploration itself. And maybe that is why Kotkin feels different. One of the clearest expressions of this approach is his Stalin biography trilogy. And remember when I mentioned contradictions? Even the first volume is literally called Paradoxes of Power. It's a massive 3-volume study of Joseph Stalin and the system that produced him. Probably one of the most ambitious historical works I've ever come across in scope alone. It's definitely next on my reading list. But from everything I've seen in Kotkin's lectures and discussions, the project doesn't just describe Stalin as an individual, it reconstructs the machinery around him, the ideology, the bureaucracy, the fear, the incentives, the system that made certain outcomes possible. If you're interested in the books, I'll leave a link in the description. So, when Kotkin speaks, history no longer feels finished. It feels like an active exploration. With Kotkin, history is never a closed narrative, but an open one. A journey through systems that are still, in some sense, alive. And when history is treated that way, it stops feeling like something finished and starts feeling like something we are still inside of.